Well, my name's Jennifer Wolfchief. From Rocky Boy Reservation. I didn't grow up here, but I moved back home after high school. Started college at Stone Child, um, and I guess that's kind of where it led to where I'm at now. At first, I wanted to be a nurse. Then I have a degree actually in science, my first one. And then I had my daughter, and I couldn't leave her. I didn't like her crying, so I was like, well, I better get a job somewhere where I can have her with me. So I started at the local daycare here. They offered me college classes for early childhood. I accepted, didn't think much of it. Then I just kept going and going. Took a few classes every year. Finally, about 2 years later, I received my early childhood degree, Associates of Early Childhood degree. And then after that, I started working at the Rocky Boy Head Start followed my daughter again. She was in Head Start. They offered me classes to go to MSU Bozeman to receive my bachelor's. After a few years, I agreed. Took me a while to finish. I had my second kid at the time, but I did finish within 2 years to get my bachelor's in early childhood. I did it all online, worked after work, late at night to get my papers done, but I finished. But I really love my job, so I kept at it. I really love working with children. I am married for 20 years. I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. My daughter's 20. My son is 13. They push me every day. They push me to be a better person, actually. So I worked for the Rocky Boy Head Start for about 13 years, off and on. I ran the Stone Child College daycare for 2 years. Let's see. Like I said, I really like working with children. Culture shaped me, I guess. When I was younger, I was not culture. I didn't know anything. Like I said, I didn't grow up around here. When I got older, going to school here, working here, I met, the people that helped me, I guess, become who I am also. They taught me, I guess they taught me about my culture. I didn't know too much of my Cree language. I started working with the daycare, and then I worked with elders, and they really guided me on how to speak with their children, how to talk to them calmly, how to just interact with them. They taught me a lot of my Cree language, and talking to the children, I guess they responded a lot better. They understood it because it was spoken at home. So just doing simple commands, they calmed down. They understood. I'm there to help them. I'm here to be with them, to guide them, to teach them. Culture shaped me in a way. I guess it did make me a better person. It made me appreciate who I am, who my family is. It just kind of made me realize that we are, a special, I guess, culture. There's not very many of us, and we do have a lot to offer. Like, it's funny because growing up, I did not want to be a teacher. I didn't want to work with kids. I had 5 siblings, and I had to babysit them, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with kids. But after I had my child, my daughter, my mom saw how good I am with her, I guess, and she always told me I'll be a good teacher. I'll be a teacher, and I'm like, no, I don't know, Mom, I don't know. But some reason it just came, I guess fell into this profession. It just came natural, and I just kept going forward with it. I never like shied away. I was like kept pushing. I kept wanting more education, more trainings, more knowledge. Um, and so I have to thank my mother. She really, I'm, I'm gonna start crying. Um, yeah, she really, I guess, encouraged me and she believed in me. So yeah, her and my husband and my two children, those are my big support group, my big support, and they influenced me a lot. Well, I work with mostly native, pretty much all native children. We are Box Elder School is not on a reservation, but we're right next to the res, and so pretty much 95% of our students in our school are native. And since I am from here, I've been living here for 20 years. I do know the people. They know me. Most of them probably know that I do teach, and I always been around children. So I think family and the children, they know that they know how much I care, I guess, about their education and not just their education, I guess their how they are, you know. So how they are, I try to connect with them, I guess, in some little way. And the families, they the parents, they pretty much know who I am. They see me around. Like I said, I was a Head Start teacher for many, many years. I also taught a little bit at the college. I taught at both reservation schools. We have Rocky Boy Elementary and Box Elder Elementary. I was at both. So our our the people in our community, they pretty much know who I am, and I'm pretty sure they trust me with their children. And the children, they're I don't know, they're such I just love them, I guess. They're funny. They know me. They know that we like to tease, and I think that makes them feel comfortable. Is that we joke around and tease, and it just I guess brings us closer together. We have that little connection. Um, and I do know I have to know something about every child, I guess. I know one thing about every child, and then I that's how I connect with them. I say, okay, I know your mom, I know your auntie. I worked with them, and I know your Gookum. So that kind of makes them feel better and more easier. Like, okay, you're my friend. Then if my mom trusts you, my grandma trusts you, I trust you. That's how it kind of, I guess, is here it's been like that in my class, all my classes that I taught. I just have to have that one connection, and then it kind of blooms from there. And yeah, we just try to trust each other, and that's how I work with my native children and my family. Inviting them to my classroom. I call them on the phone. I send out letters. Social media is a big, I guess, help. We just send out, what we're doing. And if I have a, concern, I call them and then we talk and and they let me know what's going on. So I do make a lot of phone calls, emails, mostly social media. I get word out, and I have parents that pick up their children. We talk, let them know what's going on, let them know if anything's coming up. So I always try to inform them so they're not left in the dark. So that's a way we, I guess, communicate and build a better relationship with the family too. We do have iPads. Every child here has their own iPad they could take home. So um, if I'm teaching, the parents can see it at home. They can look at we use mostly the app called Seesaw. So whatever I'm teaching, they can look on their child's app and they can look over their homework. I leave letters, notes. I can even leave little videos, and I guess that's how I show them what we're learning. I do a lot of Cree in our classroom, and I'm pretty sure the children are starting to understand it more. Um, they're understanding more who they are because I talk about our culture a lot in our classroom. I think that's important. Um, they sing our Cree alphabet song. They know who our founders are. They can count, their numbers to 20. their colors, and I would put it on that app, and it's back and forth. They're like, great. They love that they're learning that in school. And I just like, what else do you guys want me to teach? What's appropriate? What are you guys talking about? Is it okay if I say this or that? And we communicate like that. We could do that through our app, or they could call me and say, hey, can you maybe teach our child this? And I'm like, they don't know how to, I guess their family members, a lot of them are talking like Gookum is their grandma, Musum is their grandpa. So they've been, I guess, talking like that at home, using those words, using our Cree language, and I get the response back. It's like, they love it. It's wonderful. Um, so that's, I guess, a way of communicating and showing our culture and and how I integrate it, I guess, in our curriculum. I use a lot of our Cree language in our curriculum, even if it's a word, I guess. And sometimes I won't say the numbers, I'll say it in Cree, just so they're getting that Cree culture. And they understand that I'm doing that, and they know it because we just do it every day, and it's every day. It's an everyday thing. I teach first grade. My first year teaching first grade. This is, yeah, my first year teaching first grade. Like I said, I taught Head Start for 13 years. I taught 4 and 5-year-olds. I helped prepare them for kindergarten, school readiness. I thought that was going to be a big challenge, but it was actually really fun because we did a lot of, I guess, activities, and just to make it fun, and I just loved it, and so I wanted more, I guess. I wanted to teach more, and so figured I wanted to get my bachelor's in elementary ed. I guess one thing I do teach them, we pray. When we smudge, actually I have sage in my class. I lit it one time, and the kids did know a lot of kids did know what we did, but some kids did not understand, I guess, smudging. We pray, and so I had to teach them that. And the parents, I asked them first, and they do it at home, so it's okay here. I didn't use sweetgrass. We use sage in our classroom. And it makes them feel comfortable. It's, if they're scared, they're kind of anxious about something, they talk to me, and I say, okay, do you guys want to pray? So we'll talk about it, and we pray, and we smudge, and it kind of relaxes them, makes them feel better. Because I know they do it at home, so, if they do it here, they're like, okay, it's okay. I guess they feel better anyways. Pretty much every day I do use it in math. We have our math curriculum. I do storytelling. Um, I teach, but I do have some of our stories that we do teach in our Cree culture. There's a certain time of year where we do read our stories. Um, we were taught that. A lot of storytelling does go on in the winter time, not too much in the summer or springtime, but we do a lot of storytelling in the winter. I teach them about hibernation, the animals. We talk about our local animals. Um, it depends on our theme and the weather, I think. Like right now, like I said, we're going to talk about hibernation. Um, Sometimes in the springtime, we'll talk about things being like springtime stuff, frogs, baby animals. What else? Just everything coming to life in the springtime. We'll choose stories like that. Um, yeah, mostly. Yeah, I kind of go by the weather, I guess. And yeah. Since this is my first year, I am going to be asking. We do have a Cree teacher here, and she does have resources and who to reach out to. And I do have a few myself. I am going to reach out to a couple elders to come, talk to the children. Um, but in the past, I have used a lot of elders, and they talked about the ceremonies. They talked about powwows. They talk about round dances, drumming, singing. Um, some talked about how they baked their breads. how they cook their food. So yeah, I do have elders that come in and do that. We do offer them tobacco or a gift when we do that, so we have to be prepared. Here we don't use the creative curriculum. They give us the curriculum for at the elementary school, but the creative curriculum, yeah, I loved it because let the kids, do things. You give them the information and they come up with the art stuff, or what we're gonna do, I guess. Like if I said we're gonna make a Christmas tree, I'll talk about it, show them pictures, and I'll give them the materials, and they design it themselves. It's not like, nope, the star goes there, nope, the light goes there. It's their own idea. It's how they want it to look, and I think that's the best way. I love it. We have a set one. They kind of give us what we're teaching and the books, but the art, we don't have a curriculum in art. So when we have art, it's it will be like theme related, like with our seasons or months or whatever. But it is, to me, I'll make it look like creative curriculum. I'll tell them the stuff, what we're gonna do, give them the materials. You guys come up how it's going to look like, and they love it. Not one thing's the same. They're all different. They're all their own things, and they could pick it out on the wall. If everything looked the same, it would be really boring. So, when they throw it on the wall, they go, hey, there's mine because I did that, use this color. So when we do art, I just let them, I don't have a set curriculum for that. But with my math, I do. With my reading, we do. And it's set, yeah. Well, like I said, we do have iPads, one-to-one iPads and headphones. And they do a lot of apps on that, and I do have a high expectation, so I will give them other work. We have a lot of manipulatives, actually. They play with the games. My kids are visual learners, and so a lot of the stuff I do try to teach them. At the beginning, it's dependent. I go down, it's like more like one-on-one with them, or have my aide, in here helping. And then we do it, we kind of go walk around and we eye them, monitor them, making sure that I guess they're learning what they're supposed to be learning. And then our goal is to have them be independent learners, and just to slowly take things away, like manipulatives, and just have them like trying to think on their own. Like, okay, what's 5 plus 5? I'm not going to give them counting bears. I want them to try to, I guess, think about it in their own head. Okay, with my assessments, we have formative. I usually do formative assessments. I will give them, the piece of paper or whatever we're working on, I guess. And I will just tell them, what we're doing is we're doing a quiz. You guys, do your best. I will walk around, and I will also do exit tickets. If we're at the moment, I'll give them whatever we're learning, and if they get it right, they get it right. If they get it wrong, then I know what to reteach. That's, I guess, how I do my assessments. I walk around, or I will verbally ask them, call on them to answer a question. I do assessments like that too, just to see if they're learning. And if they don't get it, I'm like, okay, well, I'll, mark that, and I'm like, okay, I'll reteach that. Or maybe get that kid on a one-on-one, and I will go step by step again. Yeah, I do my assessments usually formative. I will give them a sheet of paper, an exit ticket, and walk around and see if they understand it or not. I don't do cultural assessments. It's mostly our curriculum, but the only cultural assessment I could say is that I do quiz them on our Cree, I guess. We do a lot of transition activities to get them to get ready to go outside, to go to the bathroom, to get ready for lunch. To call on them, I will give them an assessment on, okay, what is 5 in Cree? How do you say pig in Cree? How do you say cow in Cree? I will do a lot of assessments on our language, and it just keeps them thinking. It really keeps them thinking. And, and then when they're playing games, I could hear them talk, use our language. And just because we're saying it over and over, it's I guess it's not, it is an formative assessment, I guess, too, on that part, because I do quiz them, um, to, if they get it right, they get to go line up. If not, then we give them another word I know they know. It's easier, just so I kind of try to build their confidence up. Um, and then they slowly, I guess it gets harder. Well, we have a lot of trauma here around where we live. You can see it in our classroom with these some of these students. They do have they come from a, I guess, traumatic background. Not just them, maybe their parents. Our families around here. We did have to deal with a lot of trauma. We do live close to Haver, so we do have to deal with a lot of racism there. Um, we deal with the best and safest way, I guess, too. We are an MBI school, and we do some trainings, how to deal with the kids that are, I guess, that act out and have behavioral issues. We're it's a I just try every day just to be here for the kids too. The less traumatic, I guess, school is, the easier it is for them to come here. So being here every day, it's a routine they know. Um, and they know I care about them. They know they're going to eat. They know I'm not going to, get mad at them about something minute they did. Um, so, uh, and if something, major happens, we do try to contact the family, ask them what's going on. Sometimes, we have a day where I'll have a kid that needs a little extra care. The parents will let me know, if something happened at home, can you be a little, just so and so went through this, and yeah, I do communicate with my parents pretty well. And like I said, it is a small community, so we do know a lot that's going on, what's going on with the kid's family. Um, so like I said, we're just here every day, and we just give them hugs, we give them high fives, we sit down with them. If they don't want to go outside, they come inside, and we just have conversations. And we just try to make them feel at ease here and comfortable. Yes, we do have, I want to say, at least two counselors that are, they walk around and they pull kids out. They do know which ones need counseling. We refer them. So yeah, we do have great relationship with the clinic. They do walk around. They come to our school. They observe a lot. They observe, what the kids are doing and how they're feeling. It's I think it's more there's more kids that probably need counseling right now, dealing with coronavirus and staying home and not going too many places. And so yeah, we have a lot of stress out there that we're trying to deal with at the school. We are, resilient people. We come I came from, parents that were, I guess, alcoholics, and, I was like, I knew I wasn't going to be that way. I was resilient. I'm like, I'm not going to be that way. So, I pushed my way through school, for many, many years. We are resilient people, and I'm a really resilient Native woman. We just try to push our way through, and there's certain people in our lives that, that support us. We try to stick together, I guess. A lot of us that are going through the same thing, and they want to, be better. We, I have family members that aren't, I guess, doing well, and so, I just try to encourage them to, I know they could be better. They want to, be a better person. Oh yeah, actually we do use a lot of humor. I think that's why the kids, my students in my classroom feel comfortable with me because I tease my own kids and I talk to my kids the way I talk to these students, and they, like I said, that they show me love back just because I do show them like I do care. I tease them. I am, um, let's see, I'm a firm believer, I guess, in just being there for the children. I'm not like their parent, but I do remind them of their parent, I guess, because we do have a lot of the same qualities. We joke around, we tease, we love our kids, we show them tough love a lot, I guess the word I'm trying to use, tough love. I have high expectations of our children. I know they can do better. Um, and using humor one way using humor is, I guess, using humor is a way to break the ice too with them and show them that, I'm not a serious teacher all the time. I do have a fun side. We do laugh a lot in our classroom. We, yeah, that makes it a lot easier for them to come to school and to learn. They're not, stressed out. They're not gonna, oh, what's teacher gonna be mad about, whatever. They know that we come to school with a smile every day, a new day. I don't care if they had a bad day yesterday. Today's a new day. So they do know that in our classroom, and my students, they know I care. They know I care. Get to know us, get to know somebody. There's, the local colleges, the local schools, they know somebody if you really want knowledge, resources. They have so many resources here, I guess, too, at our schools, our native schools, at the college. Just don't give up. Just keep asking questions. Really, no question's a dumb question. No, but we just don't give up. We're easy. We joke a lot. We'd probably tell you, if we don't like you, we won't joke with you. And that's probably going to be the truth. We do tease a lot. We smile. We don't come off, as grouchy people. Um, like I said, if we like you, we'll tease you. We'll tease with you. So, yeah, humor's a big thing in our culture. Okay, well, some of the resources, I guess, is on OPI. There's a Internet for All. So they have a lot of resources. If there's stuff about each reservation in Montana and each college and each probably school, and there's many natives, many native teachers that would openly communicate with somebody if they ask, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what can I ask, what can I say to them, how do I discuss this, holidays. I know there's a lot of questions, and just ask one of us. Go online. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff on OPI and the local colleges. Just get to know them. Get to know one thing about them, and go from there. Get to know what song they like, what color they like, what their grandparents' name or their mom's name, how many siblings they have. Sometimes, if you have the same amount of siblings as they do, they connect with you. The kids will open up more. But yeah, like I've been teaching for 10 years or over 10 years, I guess, with early childhood, and just knowing, like I said, opening up to and knowing one thing about that child, it does make teaching a lot easier. And communicating with families, just giving them a call or sending a good note home, one good phone call a week or something, and that makes them feel better, like, okay, this teacher cares about my child. So I think that's something, teachers need to do, especially with Native children. They have a lot of negativity in their life. So having that phone call or a note sent home that's about that good thing, it really brightens up their life and makes them want to come to school more. Yeah, just being open and understanding their culture, what a powwow is, what singing is, what a round dance is, what fry bread is, oil. We have big, family get-togethers. Understand that we do have families. I work in a school where most of these kids, they know me because I am related to them in one way or another. So yeah, we are a big family, and just I guess we are family orientated. Just remember that. I guess we care about our kids. I would say just kind of follow, what everybody else is doing. Go, get the knowledge. Like, if you don't know, ask. It's like I said, there's never no dumb question. Just ask, and somebody will help you. Somebody will help guide you. Um, yeah, if you need any questions, there's a lot. They're elders. If you need questions, ask them. But also offer them tobacco, offer them a gift. They will, there's a lot of things that they will let you know and tell you. Just ask. But yeah, offer a gift. That's what like we do that for elders. We give them tobacco or a blanket or, a scarf or something. We get to have our questions answered. That's how it goes. I just really love teaching in our community. I believe I am a positive role model. I want, other kids to see that anybody could be anything they want. Um, Natives, non-natives, just go for your dream, I guess, because this is my dream, teaching especially in my community where they know me and I know them. It makes it a lot easier. It's trust. Trust is important.